Thank you so much, Peter, for that extremely kind introduction. As I'm looking out at this audience, I just want to remind everyone, today is Ash Wednesday. I'm not seeing enough ashes out there. And thank you. I'm so proud and pleased to be joining with so many of my other public officials. There's someone who just walked in. Obviously, he's a great friend. He's my colleague in the Senate and someone I'm proud to work with each and every day, Senate President Stan Rosenberg. And I'm so proud to join with all the elected officials to highlight how important it is for men to be part of the solution when it comes to intimate partner violence. We must educate ourselves about domestic and sexual violence and find proactive ways to lend our support. And I thank Jane Doe for their efforts. Most importantly, though, I sincerely want to thank the courageous survivors and advocates who are here today. In 2014, we crafted a domestic violence law, where some folks had said was the finest law in the country at that time. And I could talk about the fact how I must have spent anywhere from 6 months on longer visiting many of these homes and talking to many of the victims. And the most important thing that I heard, and the most important lesson that I learned, I should say, in terms of putting that law together, was the sharing of the stories that I heard from the victims. And because of that, hopefully we have a law that is now saving lives. And I say that because I heard firsthand in terms how we could do just that. I firmly believe that comprehensive action is the only strategy that will result in a systematic change. Therefore, our law fixed loopholes and elevated criminal penalties. But it is not enough to focus only on the judicial measures. We also emphasize the prevention, the day-to-day support. The law also broadened court authority related to custody and child support orders. The law also established employment leave provisions and created educational opportunities and programs in our public schools. We are very fortunate to live in this great state, a state which has strong laws against domestic and sexual violence. But our community also knows that we also have more work to be done. With the uncertainty in Washington threatening the security and the livelihoods of women, we must do everything in our power to stem this tragic tide of violence and stand up for our values. Recently, I have prioritized meeting with women's groups in my district, and earlier this winter, I met with a group of female representatives to discuss how we can break the cycle of violence. While there are no sureties as of yet, I am opposed to any action that may be proposed to cut any type of grant or assistance designed to reduce domestic and dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. I've been particularly concerned with the actions of the Trump administration has taken that pose harm to our most vulnerable citizens and young people. For instance, our transgendered students. At the same time, I am proud that both Massachusetts gun violence safety law and domestic violence law include provisions aimed at reaching people at a young age and educating them about how to deal with violence in their homes or with their peers. It is my hope and my pledge that we will keep the lines of communication open as we work to create a safer communities where individuals receive the legal and medical support that they so rightly deserve. Thank you very much.